Hi guys, so Driveclub was recently updated, which includes all the virtual reality tracks now in the base game. So we're going to be checking out the 5 tracks. So away we go then here at Gujo in Japan with the Ferrari 458 Italia on the bonnet cam. And what we're going to do, we're going to do 2 laps on each of the 5 tracks. So just a quick overview of the tracks. So we tried to get past this fellow Ferrari there. So, you know, although these tracks were designed primarily for use in the VR headset, you know, there's still a reasonable amount of detail in the tracks. And, you know, plenty of crowds you can see left and right. And, you know, a fair amount of believability to the tracks, but it may not be quite as detailed as the base game tracks. But still, nonetheless, you know, it is a free update. So it is very welcome. So skidding along here, you know, it's been a little while since I've been on Driveclub, and you know, it's not a game that I instantly fell in love with, I have to admit. But as I'm spending more and more time with the game over the months, it certainly did grow on me. So again, sliding through here as we approach this turn on the brakes. You know, it's just a nice arcade title where you can just get the back end out, slide it around. You know, don't worry too much about your lines. It's all about you know, getting past the AI as quickly as possible. Of course, races are often very short, and you know, the tracks are very narrow, so you do have to really go for it. So it does make a change from other racing titles. So yeah, good detail. You can see all the telephone wires there. Some nice environments as well. You can see the hills in the background, plenty of trees on them. Very impressive. You know, Driveclub's still one of the best looking racing games there is out there. And it sounds pretty good too, doesn't it? So we're on the second lap then of 2. In 5th place, just having a little bit of fun here. And we're going to cross the finish line here. So that was a quick look at the Gujo Japan track. And we're going to move on to the next one. So here we are then in India, Ashi to be precise, and we're driving the fantastic Lotus Exige S from the dashboard cam. So once more, you know, a pretty detailed track, has to be said. Crowds to the right there, as you can see. Some very nice architecture on the show here. Very pretty to look at. And, you know, some decent fun to be had on this track. As we have a little look on the inside there, a little bit of contact, but that's what Driveclub is all about. So really a series of lefts and rights through here as we sort of worm our way through this town section. Very satisfying. And you know, there's a couple of tricky bends coming up as well, so it is a tight one here, for example. That's like a double left. It's this lovely downhill section. You know, it's better when you get a nice run down here. At the moment I'm stuck behind that Lotus. Through I go then on this right hairpin, and again we continue downhill here as we sweep to the left. So beautiful track design, as I get it all wrong there, and you can see the detail in the background, all different buildings. So it's pretty impressive stuff. So up in this uphill section, then again a bit of contact. It has, like I said before, it's been a little while since I've had a go at Driveclub, so it does take a bit of getting used to. It's not one of those games where I would instantly pick up and play and actually be any good at. You know, this is a game that I personally need to spend time with, because it's got such a unique handling model. It does take a bit of getting used to if you've come from games like Assetto Corsa and things like that. So left-hander here again, then on the sharp left-hander, lap 2 of 2, double left-hander I should say. And again, we're making some good speed now down this downhill section as I get in front of the 2 cars there, before slamming the brakes on, slamming it into the right, and then into a left-hander. Very satisfying. You know, certainly a good track for time trials, just to be on your own and just really go for it, because, you know, with other cars on the track, they do tend to slow you down. So I come across the finish line. So that was a look at Ashi in India. So up next then is this track in Chile. I will not embarrass myself by trying to pronounce the location, but we are in the Caterham SP1 300R and for a change I'm driving from the chase cam, as we do have one or two requests for more chase cam action. So you know, it is a tricky car to handle at the best of times, but in a chase cam it certainly does provide that little bit more challenge. You know, this car, it does have a tendency to to catch you out, and you know, the back end can really step out and spin you around if you're not careful, which is particularly difficult to catch for me personally, at least, from this chase cam. So you will see me sliding about. You know, it is a bit of fun as well, so it's all good. So this is a very short track then, as we come up to the latter stages of the first lap already. Oh sorry, no, I beg your pardon, we've already started the second lap. So there you go, extremely short lap times of around 50 odd seconds as we come on through here, then taking a few of the cars up into third place. So environmental wise, well, you know, probably not as detailed as what we've seen so far, but still nonetheless, you know, a pretty decent track. Very short, but you know, lots of fun to get the slides on there, as you can see. But again, you know, decent amount of crowds around the track. Good draw distances, of course. See the mountains in the background as well. But yeah, certainly not as much as a feast for the eyes as the previous two tracks we've seen. But that was that. A quick look there then at the Chile location. Right then, so here is the fourth track we're going to be looking at, which is Port Vancouver, of course, in Canada. And we're driving the Audi R8 V10 Coupe Plus from the bumper cam. So, great scenery on offer there, the snow-capped mountains as we come below this flyover. And you know, good sense of speed in this viewpoint, this bumper cam, because of course you are lower to the ground. You see the city area in the background there. Vancouver, of course, as we come around this really tight left-hander. So you know, it is a little bit more detailed than the Chile track, but it does feel a little bit on the grey side, a little bit bland, if I'm honest. And, heavy braking zone here then through this really tricky left-hander, pretty much a hairpin through there, getting a good little slide on there. So good fun. All these tracks are pretty good fun, actually. It's just nice to have some new content, isn't it, for Driveclub? Great stuff. Look at this, through these S's then. Really, really fun just to get some sliding action going on here as I barge my way through. That's what Driveclub's all about. It's so narrow, and you don't get a lot of time, so you really do have to, you know, take the game by the scruff of the neck and just barge your way through. It's good fun. Getting there, just making content. I don't care, we're having fun. So on the inside again, beautifully done. Oh, losing it on the exit there. Lots of oversteer. We don't care, it's all good stuff. So good turn of speed here on the heavy braking zone into this left hairpin. Going to have a look on the inside here. Leaving the brakes really late. We are through, so fantastic stuff. And chasing down that lead car there. Not sure if we're going to be able to overtake him before the finish line. In fact, we're not. So that was that for Canada, Port Vancouver. So here we are then at Briggen, Norway, starting off in this wonderfully detailed tunnel. And of course we are driving the Alfa Romeo 4C from the cockpit cam. Beautiful cockpit of this car, actually. And look at that, straight away you come out of the tunnel and you're greeted with some wonderful hills and snow-capped mountains, as Driveclub so often does give you. And you know, this track is probably the hardest of all the 5 of the tracks we've looked at, especially the section as you rejoin the tunnel. There's a right-hander and you've really got to be careful. You've got to dab on the brakes and try and keep the steering as smooth as possible to avoid losing control. And you'll see in just a moment what I'm talking about. So coming through here then, a set of S's. So very easy to get these wrong, especially when you've got cars right in front of you, as I do now. So you've got to be very mindful not to cut those S's too much, otherwise you will be in trouble. So coming around this right-hander into this long straight section. So again, ample opportunity to get a bit of drifting action going on. So a good bit of speed here as we come downhill. And this is the turn I'm talking about. A little dab on the brakes. Look how smooth. You've got to keep the steering. You can see I've got barely a minimal input, I would say, on the steering wheel there, and a slight bit of opposite lock just to catch the drift. Very easy to get it wrong through there, has to be said. So on the brakes then, we're going to come through this left-hander that goes on forever as we move up the elevation here. So, you know, a good fun track once more. All the tracks are fun. As I get squeezed out there, smashed into the side. But there you go, that's what Driveclub is all about. So on the second lap of 2, get on the brakes then. Some very tight stuff. These S's coming up in particular. You know, it's very easy to get it wrong. It really is. The temptation, of course, is to cut these. There are fences and obstacles on the inside of this turn. Look how close I get there. So it is a case of not wanting to cut too much as the cars in front get it wrong. I get it a little bit wrong as well. But we're okay. We get away with it now on the brakes. Now we're going to come through this right-hander. Over the flyover then. And some good turn of speed here before. We're going to be tapping on the brakes. We're going to keep the steering as gentle and delicate as possible through here. As we enter the tunnel once more. So we're going to come up to the end of the lap. So that was it for some Driveclub action. What I will say is the developers, Evolution Studios, have left a little comment in the patch notes which says, "Thanks for your support, thanks for your commitment, farewell and enjoy the game." Well, I'd just like to take this opportunity to say thank you to Evolution Studios for giving us some great racing titles over the years, and we'll of course look forward to what they can come up with, as there are with Codemasters at the moment, and of course you can keep up to date with any developments on their title on the website. So that was it for some Driveclub action. If you want to support what we do, you can give us a thumbs up, and of course if you want to keep up to date on all the latest racing video games, do hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.
Well, how do you like it?